I am done.
Hello everyone, how are you all? It's Monday today for us, and you know how busy Mondays are with everyone getting back to school and work. I feel it's so important to give my family a nice, good, filling breakfast that will keep them filled up for good until lunchtime. And with Saniku doing her mocks this week, she's super busy. I better get started doing the breakfast before she comes down to eat her breakfast. I'm planning to do Shavige Idly with chutney and vegetable Saagu. I have vermicelli in a large pot, and approximately I take 2 layers from the pack. I just roughly crush them with my hands so that they break down into small pieces, and then add in hot boiling water to it. I let the vermicelli soak in the water for 5 minutes, and then I drain it into the sieve. Now to make Saagu, I gathered all the vegetables that I had at home. Carrots, beans, potatoes and onions. I've also got sweet corn, peas and edamame beans from the freezer. In a mixie jar, I make a paste with a teaspoon of poppy seeds, kaskase, a teaspoon of dhania seeds, kothambari kadin bija, cumin seeds, jeera, a pinch of turmeric powder, salt to taste, and handful of grated coconut, 2 green chilies and water. I blend it into a paste. Now into the pressure cooker with a tablespoon of oil, a teaspoon of mustard seeds, curry leaves, all the vegetables that I have, 1 medium-sized onion, 2 medium-sized carrots, 2 baby potatoes and a handful of beans, a cup of mixed sweet corn, peas, edamame beans. I give it a good stir until all the vegetables are nice and warm, and then I add in the mixed ground masala. I add in sufficient water only to a point where all the vegetables are soaking in nicely. I let it pressure cook just for 1 whistle. Now into the same mixie jar, I make chutney with handful of grated coconut, handful of dariya dal, kadle, putani, salt to taste, 1 green chili, fresh lime, handful of coriander leaves and very little of water to grind. I blend it to make a chutney. Now to make the tadka for the chutney, with oil, mustard seeds, curry leaves, chana dal and urad dal. Now to make the vermicelli idlis in a saucepan, I have a tablespoon of oil, a teaspoon of mustard seeds. I let them splutter in, covering it up with a lid so that the kitchen hob is nice and clean. A teaspoon of urad dal, curry leaves, 1 medium-sized onion finely chopped. I let it change its color and then add in salt, cooked vermicelli. Now the best way to combine vermicelli is using a fork and a spoon in hand together, lifting it up and combining it this way. And now To bind the vermicellis together, I dry roast around 2 tablespoons of very fine semolina, and once it's roasted, I add it into the vermicelli and giving it a good mix, and then finish it off by adding in chopped coriander leaves. We also add in majjige to it by using low-fat yogurt. If you can get huli masuru, sour yogurt, then yes, that will be good. I don't get sour yogurt here, so I use low-fat yogurt, which is an alternative huli masuru. Now to make idlis, you can use electric rice cooker. I put water into the base and press the cook button for the water to start bubbling in. Parallelly, I smear oil onto the idli plates, and now I combine the mixture. We want it to be thick but not runny. I scoop up the mixture into the idli plates and then keep them in the rice cooker for 10 minutes time. These days, we all three are having different eating time, whether it's for breakfast, lunch or for dinner. Santosh is busy attending his meetings and Sanika is busy with her exam preparations. And I'm just eagerly waiting for Shreya to come home for Christmas holidays so that I will have her company. So yeah, I just sit down and enjoy my breakfast, very calm and relaxed. With all the tasty, delicious food that we prepare to eat and enjoy, it doesn't end with just eating. There's plenty of cleaning that adds on, and you've got to be prepared for that. So have a full whole sink filled with vessels. I prefer tidying it up with the remaining food, transferring it into a small container so that it's easier to stack them up in the refrigerator. And before I start cleaning the dishes, one thing that I'm so addicted to is this tamarind red chili balls. This pack is from Costco. It tastes so good. It's just like that tamarind chili that we used to eat as little children, what we call it as chigli. Just tastes very similar to that. And when it comes to cleaning and doing the dishes, stacking up the dishwasher, I prefer munching something as good as this in my mouth. And this makes me happy doing the cleaning jobs. Hand gloves are such a must to use on hands when you're doing the dishes, when you're cleaning and when you're rinsing the dishes and stacking them in the dishwasher, which keeps your hand in a real good condition, especially in winter season. I just rinsed the vessels and I stacked them up in the dishwasher. Only the ones that don't go in the dishwasher, like my pressure cooker, chopping board, those are the only ones that I wash with soap. Rest everything goes in the dishwasher. As I was walking around the kitchen, I just realized how tiny little things get splattered all over the kitchen. I can see vermicelli bits, pieces scattered to this end of the island, even though I was working on that side and that end. Cleaning the kitchen hob straight away after cooking is the ultimate solution and an easy way of keeping the kitchen clean. If you keep postponing it without cleaning it then and there, the effort is not just double but it's triple that you have to put in later. So I prefer to do the cleaning straight away. It's a lot easier to clean up the mess after the cooking as everything is still moist and it's not dried up. I also realized that there's so many little bits of the vermicelli that is on the floor as well. I just don't feel good. So I thought it's better to give a quick vacuum. days are extremely busy with so much that we do at home, one job after the other. And now that I have to wash my hands, one thing what I have realized, if you are like me, getting frost bites during winter season this year, what I am doing is washing my hands with cold water instead of warm or hot water. My hands are much better and looked after, and winters, especially with lips, are one of the things that can become so rough and dry. One thing that I have switched to since decades is getting rid of all the lip balms, and have never ever purchased lip balms, but instead use homemade desi ghee with very little that I smear onto my lips. That does an amazing job that not even highly paid branded lip balms can do. It just works like a miracle. And one thing that we regularly do at home after breakfast is wash millets straight away. This is a whole big box dabba container filled with different varieties of millets. We use millets almost every day. So if we have to eat it for dinner tonight, we wash the millets straight away after the breakfast, in which way the millets are washed and soaked in water for a good 6 to 7 hours time. I'm using barnyard millet for today. I have half a cup of barnyard millet that I wash just once and adding in 2.5 times of water. I also wash tur dal for the dinner, in which way the tur dal will be cooked very easily with just one whistle. And also, if you're facing gastric problems, which is very obvious to have when you reach 40 plus, so to avoid such problems, if you are vegetarian, eating a lot of dal, lentils in your daily cooking, this is something that you should do. Wash any kind of grains or dal, let it soak in water for a good 6 to 8 hours time, in which way you will not have any gastric problems. So yeah, tur dal and millets are washed and ready. You all know how much I love DIY at home. So I have been out this weekend for a party and I had worn something in black, but I realized I do not have black earrings, which is such a must to have for winter gatherings and winter catch-ups. I thought I should make DIY earrings at home using this black trousers of Chotu that no longer fits her, and it's such a nice good texture of fabric in black. So what I do is I cut a very small long strip section from the bottom of the trousers. Now as the bottom section is already stitched, we just want the rest of the 3 sides to be sealed. I seal the ends using a candle, the flame of the candle, and smear it very carefully, the fabric towards the flame, in which way it slightly gets burnt with no strings coming out from the fabric, and it gets nicely sealed. You have got to be very careful when you do this. Hold the fabric at just the right distance, not too close, and ensure there are adults when you do this activity. Once you have done with this, just give small pleats to the fabric holding the top section, which opens up like a fan later at the bottom. And once you're happy with this, use a needle and thread and just give a stitch, a running stitch up and down the fabric with small pleats just at the top section, and pull the string. In this way, you will get a fan kind of an effect of the fabric. Now, seal it, stitch it, and knot it down, ensuring it's nice and tight and firm. I bought this pack of beads of different sizes and dimensions. I tried white stones and half a pearl as well. I felt half the pearl looked really nice. So I use hot glue to cover up the stitched section, and also this adds on an element when you wear it as a earring. I also have the back of the earrings to make studs that I am using hot glue onto the fabric at the back this way. So here you have really nice cute homemade earrings that you can use for this winter. I cannot wait to try them. The other day I was cleaning my freezer and I happened to find a fresh box of Pistachio Kulfi that I had bought for summer, and I haven't even opened the box and I feel really bad about it. I'm so tempted to eat ice cream in this weather. Tell me who else is like me who's craving to eat ice creams during winter season. I thought I should give it a try of making pistachio milkshake, and this is an idea that you can take for gatherings, which is super easy to make. If you have ice cream at home, use it for good by just adding in a nice big scoop of kulfi into your mixie jar along with oat milk and very little of honey. You will have instantly made a pistachio milkshake without putting any kind of effort whatsoever. Now, here is a trick that you can do. The best way to serve it is use a wide drinking glass, pour in the milkshake into it, and then scoop up a nice big kulfi scoop using the ice cream scooper, and then place it on the milkshake. You will have a floating ice cream scoop that you will enjoy, and your guests will be super happy as well. Sprinkle in some pistachios or nuts of your choice and a few rose petals, making it look really nice and beautiful. This came in as a real treat for me. Pistachio milkshake with kulfi ice cream. I had to try it out myself. I quickly got changed into this black dress to see it pair with my new earrings. What do you all think? Do let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear from you all. I'm super happy with the outcome. It was so easy to make that I could make it with only 10 minutes on hand, and it looks super good. I have my set of timings that I follow at home. It's midday around 12:30 that I take a break from all that I do and hop on my indoor cycling. I like to multitask, going through my phone, reply to all my emails, go through my Insta feed. Basically, it's my phone time that I can combine with cycling. I do cycling for 30 minutes in a day. Now it's almost lunchtime. The day has definitely got better with daylight. It's almost dark most of the time. The daylight is just for few hours. Absolutely no sunlight, no rays of sun. December, January and February month. For lunch, I have a few chapatis left over from last night, and I bought this mixed quinoa pack from Asian stores. It's a combination of black, red and white quinoa, which is very high in protein than compared to the normal quinoa packs that we get from superstores, which is white. So next time when you're buying quinoa pack, make sure to buy this combination, which is mixed quinoa pack, than picking the white ones. I measure in 1 small cup of mixed quinoa, adding in 2 cups of water. This takes around 15 to 18 minutes time to cook. Parallelly, I have 1 courgette zucchini that I chop in small size. Occasionally stirring in the quinoa. With a tablespoon of coconut oil in a kadai, half a teaspoon of caraway seeds, 1 zucchini, 1 medium-sized onion. We let it soften and then adding in dry garlic pieces from Urks, dry parsley and basil from Urks, a pinch of turmeric powder, half a teaspoon of green chili paste and salt to taste. Now the quinoa is cooked as well, so let's combine them together. This is a very rich in protein stuffing, very easy to make as well, that you can have in bread slices, pita pockets or even in your chapatis too, just the way I'm going to. Finish it off by adding in coriander leaves to it. I spread it in good portion on 1/2 of the chapati and grate in cheddar cheese on top. Fold it up and roast it on the tawa with oil, flipping it on both sides. Beautiful, right? Looks very tempting, and the best part, it's very healthy homemade chapati wraps stuffed with quinoa. As it's almost time to pick up Chotu from school, she's very hungry coming home. So I keep a few things ready, like these green apples. She loves eating them steamed. So I chop it up into thin long strips, steaming it for 10 minutes time. I also make these wraps for her, nice and warm, perfect for this weather. Sprinkle in sugar and cinnamon powder on the steamed apples and her favorite lemon drizzle cake as a dessert.
Tomorrow I have history in the morning, geography in the afternoon. So it's like humanity, like them kind of subjects.
And lastly,
Look, I know my timetable. And then I am done.
I'll feel better. Kanda, idina start maablu.
So I think I have a plan for my weekend. One plan.
Don't hoga. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಕ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇದನ್ನ.
Oh, thanks.
ಆದರೆ ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ
Love you.
I love you too, baby.
Bye.
Bye, baby. See that thing on the children.
Now is the time I sit down transferring all the videos onto my laptop to edit my work. In fact, I sit down to edit whenever I get the time during the day, as it takes hours and hours to create a video. What looks so effortless on screen takes plenty of time, making it look seamless. After 2 hours of work, I take a break, and this is my time that I make sure to pull for my exercises. Luckily, I have some gym stuff at home that are super compact to have. Comes in very, very useful, especially during winter months as the weather outside is miserable. Difficult to step out. Having this rowing machine at home is a lifesaver that I can do at my convenience of the day. Both the treadmill and the rowing machine are from Costway. Highly recommend them. So easy for storage that you can keep it underneath the sofa, and this rowing machine can be folded up, asking very little space. I mean, how good is this? With almost all the doors closed all the time as it's peak winter, it's nice to keep some kind of air freshener at home. Good smell that can be added on with such diffusers. It's getting so difficult to differentiate day and night these days with hardly few hours of daylight during the day. It's almost dark all the time. And as it's dinner time now, I'm making a very simple food that we normally make at home. I'm planning to make Pappu using fresh fenugreek leaves. Methi leaves that I have at home. I've drained the water from the tur dal and adding in fresh water into the pressure cooker along with 1 medium-sized onion, 2 garlic cloves and 1 small brinjal. I let it pressure cook for 1 whistle. I'm also making green chili paste. There are so many of you asking me on how I make green chili paste. This is how I do it. I have a pack of green chilies that I take out the stem, giving it a good wash, and then I add these green chilies into a mixie jar along with some salt, and I just blend it together. And the best way to store it is either in a glass container or a porcelain container. I use this paste for almost most of my cooking. In a saucepan, I make the tadka for the Pappu with a teaspoon of oil, 1 tomato, a bowl full of fresh methi leaves that I have chopped. I give them a good stir until they soften up And to this, I add in the cooked tur dal from the pressure cooker, a teaspoon of green chili paste, turmeric powder, 2 teaspoons of homemade garam masala. I will leave a link on how I make this homemade garam masala at the end of this video, so make sure to check it out. Salt to taste and a good amount of tamarind pulp. This is what will make the pappu taste really nice and tasty. You've got to be a little generous with the tamarind pulp that you add in and allow the pappu to come to a good boiling point and then turn off the flame. Adding in fresh coriander leaves to it. And now to make the tadka separately, I add in oil, mustard seeds, 3 garlic cloves. Once they change the color, that's when I add in the curry leaves and hing. I also have the millets cooking parallelly, getting cooked. I cook it directly, which takes around 12 minutes time. I keep stirring it occasionally until it reaches to a point where you can see the millets have nicely cooked, absorbing all the water, so that it's nice and warm and the ghee will automatically melt, that you do not have to warm it up or heat it up again separately. I also make majjige with the remaining low-fat yogurt. I'm going to make it thick so that we can eat it with millets by adding in very little of water, salt and coriander leaves. For the tadka, with oil, mustard seeds, curry leaves. Looks like we are going to have dinner together today after a very long time. Before everyone comes, I still have very few more minutes on hand, so I'm so tempted to eat majjige menshinkai, which is such a good combination that I cannot hold myself and I cannot resist.
It was the volleyball that we jumped into the camera. I mean, it's so embarrassing. Yes. And he said, "Oh, I'm gonna post it," and you actually posted it.
That's so funny.
Oh, I know it. To banda like sadika.
Did you show me the stuff
Oh,
on
I don't eat them.
Hey, the rice flour.
No.
A simple home-cooked food is all that we need on a very busy working Monday. So in today's comfort food thali, we have pickle, mente soppina pappu, majjige and majjige menshinkai, cooked barnyard millet and plenty of tuppa. This is the time that we try and connect with Shreya over the phone. We speak to her as well as we are together, and we are just eagerly waiting for her to come home. Glad we all got to sit down and enjoy the food together as a family. Simple things are such a must that we tend to miss this as everyone is so busy with their own lives. So this was me on a very busy Monday that I kept myself very nicely occupied for good, being productive and cooking good food for me and my family. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video in full. See you all again soon in my next video. Take care. Bye for now.